Hello, my name is Lauren Rogali, and I'm excited you're here to do some yoga with me today. We'll focus on a reclined lower body practice today. This is fantastic anytime, but particularly great if you've been sitting for a long period of time, or perhaps you're feeling quite a bit of stiffness in your lower legs, or in the glutes and the pelvis region, or maybe you've just done a long walk or a heavy workout and it would be nice to do some stretches on your back. This is for you. There are two props you'll need for class today. You'll need, I'm using a lacrosse ball, but you could use a tennis ball or really any myofascial ball that you have available. A lacrosse ball is quite easy to find and only a few dollars in most places. The other prop we'll use is a strap of some sort. So I, of course, am using a yoga strap today, but you can use a belt from your jeans or the belt from your bathrobe, a scarf, or a long towel. So don't feel like you have to go purchase anything like this. So go get those props and then come onto your mat. You can place those props by your sides and then come to lie down on your back. And you'll lie in a reclined position, of course. This position is often called constructive rest position. You'll have your knees bent, feet on the floor. Try not to push your lower back into the mat or overarch your back. Let your hands rest by your sides. Perhaps gaze at a spot on the ceiling or close your eyes for a few moments. And feel your body against the floor. Surrender the weight of your body. Perhaps till you feel your arms relax a little more. And tension dissolve into the shoulders and the belly and your buttocks. And as you continue to let your body settle here, resting comfortably against the floor, draw your attention towards your breath, just watching or feeling the rhythms of your body breathing for you here. Your inhale and your exhale. And as you watch your breath rhythms, just noticing the areas of your body that move in response to your breath. Perhaps you're feeling it in your chest or your belly. Or maybe you can feel it in your back or your ribs. There's no right or wrong to what you're feeling. We're just taking a moment here to settle ourselves, perhaps settle from the day or any events. And let the breath bring us into the moment, bring us into our body. And staying aware of your breath, perhaps even encouraging a longer, slower breath rhythm as we practice here. You can now start to lift the arms up a little further out to the sides and separate your feet wider to the edges of your mat. Keeping your knees bent, gently take both knees to the right side and center, and to the left side and center, and back to the right side and center, and to the left side and center. And take your knees back to the right side and stay on the right side. Let your knees fall as heavy as they can. You'll notice that left buttock muscle will lift up, and that's okay. If you're not feeling much on that left outer hip or outer leg, then take that right foot and bring it on top of that left knee. That will add a little more pressure on the knee and perhaps increase sensation down the side of the hip or the side of the leg. Pause here to take a few steady breaths. Remember, if at any time you feel pain, sharp or harmful sensations, please don't hold those positions. You can bring the feet back down or adjust the position to support your body here. Just one more breath. If your right foot's on top of that left knee, bring your right foot back down and gently take your knees up through center and then over to the left side. And let the knees fall, just heavily, sort of stopping where they stop. And notice how this side feels. If you're not feeling much sensation again on that outer right hip or down the side of your leg, then please pick up your left foot and bring it on top of the right knee, just encouraging a little more pressure there and perhaps a little more sensation. And holding here, still with your breath. One more long breath in and long breath out. And bring your left foot back down onto the ground and slowly lift your knees back up to center. This next one I call bridge lifts with knee circles. So start with your feet still as they are, as wide as your mat, and knock your knees in towards each other. So your knees are touching or as close to as they can. Then push down into your feet, and as you inhale, lift your hips up into the air, keeping your knees together or close to. Then at the top, separate your knees apart and bring, with an exhale, your hips back down. Let's do that again. Take your knees together and inhale your hips up into the air. Then separate your knees apart and exhale your hips back down. Let's do that again. Bring your knees together. Inhale, lift your hips up nice and high. Separate your knees apart and exhale your hips back down. Good. It's okay if your feet are shifting and changing. Inhale your hips up. Separate your knees apart and exhale your hips back down. Let's do that one more time in this direction. Knees together. Inhale your hips up, knees apart, and exhale your hips back down. Now let's change the positioning of our legs. So heel toe your feet in closer together. They do not have to touch, but you do want them about narrower than hips width apart. Then separate your knees a little wider than your hips, keeping your feet and your knees as they are. Inhale your hips up into the air. Then at the top, bring your knees together or close to, and exhale your hips back down. Knees apart. Inhale your hips up into the air. Knees together, and exhale your hips back down. Knees apart. Inhale your hips up into the air. Knees together. Exhale your hips back down. Knees apart. Inhale your hips up into the air. Knees together. Exhale your hips back down. Two more times. Knees wide. Inhale your hips up. Knees together. Exhale your hips back down. Knees apart. Inhale your hips up. Knees together. Exhale your hips back down. Well done. Stretch your right leg straight out onto the ground. Bring your left knee up towards your chest, and with your right hand, grab a hold of your left knee and slowly roll to the outside edge of that right leg. So shift your hips. Now gently hold the knee in place and adjust your shoulders so your chest is facing the ceiling or the sky. Stretch your left arm out to the side. Perhaps even turn and look over your left shoulder if that would feel nice on your neck. Hold and breathe here. About 3 to 4 more breaths. Let your attention stay in your body, in the moment, your inhale and your exhale. Look back to the ceiling if you're gazing to the left, and slowly roll your body back to the center of your mat. And then let's change sides now. So stretch your left leg out straight. Bring your right knee in. Grab a hold of that knee with your left hand and guide your right leg over to the left side. Got a nice little spinal adjust there, maybe you will too. Keep a hold of that knee and stretch your right arm out to the side. Again, adjust your shoulders so your chest is facing the ceiling, and you may like to turn and look over your right shoulder. Again, honor the sensations you're feeling in your body. We're not here to perform any postures, but rather take care of ourselves. So may you tend to yourself with compassion. Turn back towards your breath. Inhales and exhales, like a soothing lullaby. Just a few more breaths here. Perhaps noticing the difference on this side. The two sides of the body can feel quite different. So may you acknowledge it, but don't judge it or criticize it. And look back to the ceiling if you're gazing to the right, and slowly roll your body back to the center of your mat. Place both feet back on the floor so that your knees are bent, coming back to that constructive rest position. And again, it may feel nice to stay right here, especially if your spine is feeling fragile, or of course, perhaps you're ready for the next movements. So before we go into the next yoga posture, take your hands to the fronts of your pelvic bones, often called your ASIS bones, anterior superior ilium spine. And with your palms flat against these pelvic bones, we'll do some pelvic tilts. So tilt the top of your pelvis down into the ground until your lower back imprints into the mat. And then lift the top of your pelvis up until your tailbone draws down and your lower back curves away from the floor. Let's repeat that. Tilt the top of your pelvis down until your lower back imprints into the floor. And then lift the top of the pelvis up until your tailbone draws down and your lower back lifts up. A few more times. Tilt the top of the pelvis down, push your lower back into the mat, and then tilt the top of the pelvis up until your tailbone draws down. One more time. Tilt the top of your pelvis down till your lower back pushes in, and then tilt the top of your pelvis up till your lower back lifts up. And come back to a neutral position where you're not arching your back or pushing the back down, just soft. You can even lift and look at your hands. They want to be flat on the pelvis there. Then take your left leg and cross your left ankle over your right thigh for what's often called a figure four stretch or Sukhiyandrasana. And then bring your right leg in towards your chest, and if possible, hold the back of your right thigh. If this is not available, you're going to reach for that strap and pull it around the back of your thigh just to help increase the length of your arms. As you pull your legs in towards your chest, gently widen that left knee away from your chest. You know you're successful here if you're feeling sensation on the outside edge of that left leg, perhaps in the glute region or down the side of the leg. You may even feel a little bit in the inner thigh or the lower back. Hold for a few breaths. One more long inhale and long exhale. Then keep your legs in this figure four position, but let go from the back of your right thigh or release that strap. Then take your legs to the right. So that left foot will come to the floor on the right side, and your right knee is supporting that left ankle. My left bum cheek's up in the air. Yours probably is too. I often like to hold my ankle. Now we're still looking for sensation on that outer left leg, on that glute sort of hip region. If you're not feeling anything here, then try to bring the legs up a little bit higher And if it's, of course, too much sensation, then bring the legs down a little lower. Keep that left knee pressing up towards the ceiling. Some people even like a bit of pressure. If you are choosing this option, be gentle. I find for me, if I tuck my tailbone under me slightly, oh, it just goes from good to great. And this is our hold, so find that optimal placement where you're feeling an adequate amount of sensation and hold here a little longer. Utilize your breath as that incredible resource to help us endure sensations and facilitate a calm nervous system. And 2 more breaths. Then keeping your legs on this side, with your right hand, grab a hold of your top left knee and gently angle that knee now down towards the floor or down towards your right armpit. For me, this increases sensation along my glutes and along my piriformis, along the side of my left leg. It may for you as well. Some people need to bring the legs up a little higher to find that sensation. I'm not one of those people. It doesn't take much for me to feel these types of sensations and stretches, so maybe you're like me as well. Once you find that spot where you feel those sensations, please hold again, breathing deeply, feeling the support of the earth as you inhale and exhale. One more full breath, a long inhale, long exhale. And gently let go of your left leg and slowly roll your body back to center. Place your feet back on the floor. It may feel nice to come back to those windshield wiper-like movements of taking the knees side to side and side to side, or perhaps you prefer to be still. Either way, let's repeat those movements on the other side. So take that right ankle now on top of the left knee. Bring your knees in towards your chest and hold on to the back of your left thigh. Again, if that's not available, you can use your strap. And we'll hold here. The kitty wanted to practice there. And again, finding that positioning where you can draw your legs in towards your chest while widening that right knee away from your chest. That's going to give you the stretch on the outer right hip and the glute region. Use your breath to support you. About 3 more breaths. Stay in the moment. It's normal to have lots of distractions when we're practicing at home, so just keep turning towards yourself, to what's happening here. Even if that means you need to open your eyes and sort of see what's in the room where you are. Keeping this figure 4 position, let go of your left leg and take the legs over to the left side, so creating that twisted position again. Remember, your right foot will be on top of that left knee, and your right knee will be pointing up to the ceiling. You can hold the ankle or give a little press up with that right knee to the sky with your left hand. If you're not feeling much, take the legs up a little higher towards the left arm. And if you're feeling too much, slide the legs down slightly. Again, I find for myself a gentle tuck of my tailbone under me, taking the top of the pelvis down like when we were imprinting our lower back, that helps get into that whole sort of back line, back chain. Again, stay with your breath. 2 more. And take that right knee and draw it down towards the floor, towards that left armpit of yours until you feel sensation again on that right glute region, perhaps up along the lower sort of leg or the side of the leg or the lower back. It can be quite a good one. It feels lovely in my body. Hopefully it's feeling lovely in yours too. With that being said, it can be pretty intense and uncomfortable too, so let's use our breath to support us. Come back to those long, slow inhales and exhales. And 2 more breaths. And look back to the ceiling if you're not already. Slowly let go of the legs and roll your body back to the center of your mat. You can take your right foot back down. And again, it may feel nice to be still or perhaps a little movement side to side and side to side. Just feeling empowered by the choices you have here. The next sort of stretches or releases will need our lacrosse ball. So let's come back to that right hip. Take your right ankle back on top of the left thigh for that figure 4 position, and then lean to that left side enough that your right bum cheek will lift up, and place that lacrosse ball on the top part of your buttocks, the glute here, glute maximus. So I need to be up a little bit higher. And then once you have that, you can roll back onto the ball and start to do like bum rainbows. Yes, I called them butt rainbows. A little bit of side to side. The rainbow image kind of gives you some shape direction. So we're wanting to kind of go up and across and down and then back in that same pattern across the top part of the buttocks here. Whew, it's intense. Breathe. Now, as Jill Miller would say, it doesn't need to hurt to work. So be gentle. If it's sharp or stabbing, you're probably not on a right spot and we need to come off a little bit. With that being said, it's normal for it to be intense and uncomfortable, just doesn't need to be sharp or stabbing to be effective. Good. Let's move that ball down a little bit more and continue with those side to side. We don't want to stop on the sitting bones or the tailbone. We want to stay on the fleshy tissue. Use your breath. Keep your jaw and your tongue soft. And then move the ball now to the side of the buttocks here and place your right foot down on the floor. So both of your knees are bent, both of your feet on the floor, and your buttocks the ball is more on the side of the buttocks in the glute medius region here. And open that right knee out to the side and then lift the right knee back up. Ooh. And I'm going to move it in a little bit more and then take the knee down and lift your knee back up. Yes, take the knee out to the side like a half butterfly and then lift that right knee back up. Let's do it again. Knee out to the side and knee back in. Oh my word, this is intense. Out to the side and back in. One more, just like that. Out to the side and back in. Good. Now move that ball right to the center of your buttock. So not on your sitting bone and not on your tailbone, but right in the middle of your fleshy, beautiful right buttock. And then stretch your right leg straight. Now I actually need to move it in and up a little bit more. There we go. So maybe you need to move it around too. Now we'll do a contract and release. So with your right leg straight, that ball right in the middle of your right buttocks. Squeeze your right bum cheek like crazy. And then soften and relax, letting your bum sink around that ball. Let's do that again. Squeeze your buttocks like crazy. And then relax and let your buttocks sink down. Do it again. Squeeze like crazy. And then relax and sink down. 2 more times. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then relax. Last time, this time we're going to squeeze and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. You can lean to the left side, remove the ball out from underneath you, rebend that right knee. Whew. Even just start with those windshield wipers that we began with and notice the difference side to side. I notice a pretty big difference. Even a butterfly where the feet come together and the knees go out to the side, I can already feel just how more relaxed that right butt cheek is and compared to my left. Just do your own little movements here to notice what you feel side to side. And then let's do the other side. So I'm going to move around just for the sake of demonstrating. Take your left ankle on top of that right thigh and then lean to the right side enough that you can bring that ball back under your left butt cheek. We're working that left bum cheek. Then start to roll, again, those butt rainbows side to side and side to side. You got it. I'm just feeling the sensations here. Whew. It's amazing how different the body can feel side to side. So just respecting those differences. Oh, it's really getting me on this left side. My left hip is generally tighter than my right, though. It's interesting to note. And I'm going to move it up a little bit because I started a little bit lower on that side, but maybe you need to come down a little bit. Still working those rainbow-like movements, arching over to one side, back to the other. Stay with your breath. And then bring your left foot back down to the floor and move the ball more to the outside edge of your buttocks there. Then lower that left knee down to the ground and lift your left knee up. So I need to be in and down and then back up. And if you're not feeling anything here, remember to adjust that left ball to a position where you're feeling sensations. And down, back up, and down. Good, let's do that 2 more times. Let the knee fall open and back up. And then open and back up. The lights are flicking. All right, now keep that left knee pointing up. Move the ball to the center of your left buttock and stretch that left leg out straight. And again, you may find once you straighten the leg, you need to adjust it. Please, again, don't be on any bony parts, not tailbone, not sitting bone, right in the middle, the fleshiest part of your buttocks. Then squeeze your glutes like crazy, and then soften and relax around the ball. Do it again. Squeeze your glutes like crazy, and then soften and relax around the ball. Do it again. Squeeze, 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 and soften and relax. Again, squeeze, 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 and soften and relax. 2 more times. Squeeze, 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 and soften and relax. This time we're going to hold the squeeze. So squeeze for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. You can lean to that right side. Remove the ball out from underneath you. Place the ball by your side. Roll back onto the hips. And again, let the knees go side to side and side to side. Perhaps come back to that butterfly position, feet together, knees wide. Just notice how the butt and the glute muscles feel here. It even feels nice to bring your knees into your chest and give a good little squeeze and rock. Okay, the next one we will need our strap. So reach for your strap, stay reclined. I'm just switching around here just for the sake of the demo. And once you have your strap, so come back onto your back, Lie with your knees bent. Hopefully you didn't move, it was just me. And place the strap around the sole of your right foot and extend your right leg up in the air. Now, of course, if you don't have any of these props or straps, you can always hold the back of your leg. But I know most of us have a towel or a belt or a scarf or something we could use. I like the strap because it allows for just an increase in length in the arms and allow for us to work on getting that right leg straight. So press the ball of your foot up into the strap at the same time as you pull down on the strap. Now you'll notice my left knee is still bent. This is a nice way to focus just on your right leg, and it's often a teeny bit easier. I feel it can be misleading to say this is easy because it really isn't. So as long as you can keep that right leg straight and you're not feeling any pain or it's too intense, then stretch that left leg straight onto the floor as well. Now that left leg isn't just sort of flopping out onto the floor. Do your best to keep both legs active. So push the ball of your right foot up into the strap. At the same time, push down into your left thigh and forward through the sole of your left foot. Woo, find your breath if you haven't already. Well done. Now work a little bit into your ankle. So keeping the sides of the strap, holding the strap, just turn your foot to the left and then pull back down on the right side of the strap till your foot is level with the ceiling. And then do that again. Turn your foot to the left till you have a bit of a sickling in your ankle and then come back to a flat foot. Do it again. Turn your foot to the left and then come back to a flat foot. And the next time you turn your foot to the left, hold your foot to the left, gather both sides of the strap in your left arm, and then cross your left leg over to the right side a few inches. You may find you have to reach up a little higher onto that strap. Reach your right arm out to the side. Now we're looking to feel sensation down the side of the ankle, down the side of the calves, and even down the side of that right leg. Ooh, it can be pretty intense. Breathe in and out. If at any time you prefer to rebend that left knee, you can, or if that knee is bent, try to cross the left knee to the right. You're doing well, everyone. 2 more breaths here. And slowly bring that right leg all the way back to center. Release your foot from the strap. This time stretch both legs out straight. Let your arms come down by your sides. Legs are wide and relaxed. Let your body sink into the floor. And keeping your feet separate, just give a little bit of movement, sort of like you're waving at someone with the soles of your feet. It often feels nice in the legs. And then let's move on to the next side. So rebend your knees so that your feet are flat on the floor once again. Bring your left knee into your chest and take the strap around the sole of your left foot. Once you've done that, stretch your left leg straight up into the air and reach anywhere along the strap. So each side of the strap is in either hand. Press the sole of your left foot up into the strap as you pull down on the sides of the strap. Work your leg as straight as you can. We're looking to feel sensations in the hamstrings here. Now, as long as you can keep that left leg straight, you're not feeling any sort of discomfort, or I take that back. You're going to feel discomfort, but you're not feeling any pain or harmful sensations, then stretch that right leg out straight as well. Keep the right leg as active as your left. Hold and breathe. And starting to work your ankle here, turn your foot towards the right side so the sole of the foot is angled to the right, feeling sensation down the left side of your ankle. Then come back to center. Do it again, pull more down on the right side of the strap so the sole of the foot turns to the right, and then pull the foot back to center. Do that 2 more times, pull down on the right side, turn the sole of the foot to the right, and come back to center. This next time, turn the sole of the foot to the right, then gather both sides of the strap in your right hand and cross your right leg a few, let's say, feet over to that right side until you're feeling sensation down the left side of your leg, perhaps down the side of your ankle. You can gaze to the ceiling or look over the right shoulder. And again, if you have that left leg straight, it may feel better to bend the knee. You can explore for yourself sort of what to do with that right leg that would help you. We're looking to feel sensation on the left side of your body, the left side of the leg here. A few more breaths. I know it's intense. Good. One more full breath. And then bring your left leg all the way back to center. Remove your foot from the strap. And again, stretch both legs out nice and straight. Let your arms come down by your sides and be still for a moment, maybe a big breath. You can do a little bit of movement, sort of waving your feet. Again, like you're waving at someone with your feet. Generally feels sort of nice in your legs. Good. And then walk your feet in so that both of your knees are bent. Lift your right arm and roll to your right side in fetal position. Let your head rest on your arm for a second or two. Good job. Then push yourself slowly up to a seated position and come into a wide-legged butterfly position. So soles of your feet together and your knees are out wide. So there's a good amount of space between your heels and your groin. Nice. Fix your shirt if you need to, like me. Then keeping this wide-legged position, round your spine, let your head fall towards your feet and hold in our butterfly shape. Try not to pull yourself too firmly down. Instead, sort of respect the natural resistance in your body. Let your chin fall into your chest. Let your belly be soft. Hold here for a few breaths. Can you find a little more ease in the shape, a little softness? Two more breaths here. And then slowly lift your head and your spine, coming back to a seated position. You can cross your legs if you'd like, sitting cross-legged. You can sit on your heels or even extend your legs straight if that would feel better. We'll end with a few minutes of breathing exercises and then sit for a few moments and then we'll end. So Samavriti, equal part breathing. Inhale 4, exhale 4. If at any time this breath work makes you feel anxious or overwhelmed or like you can't get a good breath, please immediately stop the breathing exercises and let your body breathe for you, perhaps sitting in meditation. The intention here is to help our body settle, to feel more relaxed. Let's begin with a cleansing breath. Take a long inhale. Nice big exhale. Then close your mouth. Breathe into your nose. 2, 3, 4. Exhale through your nose. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 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 2, 3, 4. Two more. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Good job. Let go of the breath control. Let your body take over and breathe naturally for you. And stay seated a little longer. Noticing the after effects of the breath work. Perhaps feeling a certain way. Even notice at this time how you feel in comparison to when you began. Perhaps there are certain areas of the body that feel more soft and relaxed. Or maybe there's not much of a physical change, but your heart feels softer, or your mind is less busy. There's no right or wrong to our observations, just taking this time in this moment to observe ourselves. Often when we recognize what's shifted at the end of our practice, it will be the motivation that brings us back to our practice. It may feel nice at this time to come and lie down on your mat for a few minutes, or perhaps you're ready to move on with your day. Either way, give thanks for yourself and your willingness to show up today, to take care of your body, to take care of yourself. May we continue on this path. Thank you, everyone. Namaste.